Okay, guys, it's time for an intervention on your nasty, stinky, disgusting training gear. You know it smells like shit. So let's fix your shit. Hex Performance makes advanced laundry detergent, gear wash, and gear spray that gets the stink out. It was started by a pro athlete, so they know sweat and they know modern athletic fabrics. But it doesn't stop at just sportswear. You can clean everything from your gear bag to your towels, your walking around clothes. You can spray it on your car seats. This stuff is legit and it smells amazing. Go to hexperformance.com and use the code MATTHERAPY20 for 20% off. I promise you will thank us for it. And now... What's up, everybody? It is time for Mat Therapy. Today we are at the home of our sister from another mister. It's Lila Smadja, EBI competitor, 10 planet brown belt, one of my best friends in the world, all that good stuff. Hi, welcome back.
What's up?
Say hi, Becky and Chiquita.
Hi, everybody. This is Chiquita. She's going to probably join us for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, or 2 or 3 or through the whole thing.
Así. Did I say it right?
So, welcome back to the show, like I said.
Thank you for having me.
You have a huge competition coming up. Tell everybody what's going on because you're on, or can I tell everybody?
Yes.
Okay. She's on the first all-women's EBI 12, July 30th, Los Angeles. All-women's card, all-women combat jiu-jitsu, badassness all around. Yay.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bex, you got anything to say?
I love it. I'm excited. I'm excited. Chiquita, you excited?
So,
yeah, you are.
Okay, let's get right into it. We all saw you compete at EBI 10? Was it 10?
5.
5. Jeez, really?
Yeah.
10 was Mexico.
Damn, really? Okay.
And
You
the
were
year
a
before.
purple belt back then,
After.
and it was just a super fight, a super match between you and Talitha Alencar, who's also on the card.
Correct.
So, who is the Lila Smadja that we're going to see on the stage in July? How have you evolved as a jiu-jitsu competitor? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Well, it's been what, like a year since EBI 5?
A year and a half.
A year
December
and a
of
half.
2015, my ladies.
So, since then, my game has evolved quite a bit, more than quite a bit. I received my brown belt in August. It'll almost be a year that I have my brown belt, end of August. And I kind of took that match and watched it over and over and over again, and I took my game to the next level. And when I found out, sometimes even when you win, and you rewatch it, no doubt about it, she was all over me, mounting me, passing my guard for sure. So when I rewatched that match, I was like, okay, I got to work on all these things so that this doesn't happen again, so I'm not stuck there. I know I can survive. I know I don't give up. That is for sure. But I wanted to really step my game up to those skills of not getting stuck in mount, having an open guard game, having fire off my back, having fire from passing. Trying to have fire everywhere is really my main focus right now, so that I'm comfortable and confident no matter where the situation of the match goes. So when I found out, I can't remember how long ago Eddie told me that he was going to be doing, I think it was
like January or
Yeah,
something
they
he
were-
started talking about it.
They were supposed to do it a while back, remember? With the teenage girls. It was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be a
yeah.
teenage girl division, and UFC Fight Pass didn't want that. So they cut it out. That was like March, I think.
That one was supposed to be like 8 or 9. EBI 8 or
Right.
9 was supposed to. I want to say 9 was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
It was the age of the girls. I don't think
It was
any
the teenage.
UFC had
They
an
didn't-
issue with
yeah,
them,
the
them
teenage.
being minors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So he was going to do the teenage, like 16 women, 16 teenage girls, and then a 4-woman
Other bracket.
super fight or other bracket, and I
match
was going to
thing.
do that.
Yeah.
And then
I remember
it
that.
didn't happen. And then he said, okay, we're going to be doing, he's like, stand by, we're going to be doing,
A full women's.
we're going to do a full women's something. So I waited, and then I think like a month or two later, he said, okay, we're doing a full women 125, 16 woman division in EBI, and I want you to do it in the summer, and you're in. You know, he was casually saying that, and I was like, okay. So
He didn't say you're in right away.
He didn't say I was in right away, but he's like, train hard because
Yeah.
we're gonna do
what
it.
he said, I was there. I remember he looked at Lila and he looked at you and he pointed. He goes, "I need you to train like an Olympic athlete."
Oh,
And you
yeah,
were
that's
like,
right.
You were like, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I'm always training. I'm always staying ready for sure. But when he told me that, I took it up a level and I started doing some serious strength and conditioning with Taylor Ramsdale. What up? Chain Fitness. Turning me into a beast. So I started.
Nice guns.
Yeah. Anyway, I started doing strength and conditioning, taking it seriously 3 days a week. Been doing that for a couple months now. And then finally, you know, Eddie, I got the email saying that I was in, and it was supposed to be in the end of June or beginning of July, and kind of bounced around a couple, you know, dates, and finally they set a date, July 30th.
Yep.
So I've had more time to learn, more time to train, more time to really sharpen all my tools and get my techniques.
So what are we going to see? I mean, I know I've been training with you. I'm aware of
Yes.
how evil you are. But
I mean, you'll just have to see. I don't want to give away.
You don't want to give secrets away, so
I don't want to give secrets away, and I want to just. I'm gonna put on a show. The goal is to. The goal is just to go out there and showcase the hard work I put in. I mean, I literally am training so fucking hard. Like,
Yeah.
So fucking hard.
we went and can I tell everybody about Tuesday?
Yes.
Is that okay? We went and did sprints in the pool
that's
the other
right.
night. She's a damn mermaid. I was like, bye, Lila. See ya. She was gone.
You're back there.
They were like trying to catch up to her.
I'm gonna get there. Little doggy paddles.
Yeah, that was awesome. It felt good. Swim sprints are no joke.
Yeah, they were serious cardio.
But
And he was like, "Did you do all 20?" And I'm like, "I did 15."
Yeah.
Sure, it did
In
like
my head.
that. But yeah, no, but so yeah, training like a beast.
So why is this different? Because you've been competing consistently since you were a white belt. So
Yeah.
for the last 7 years, you have been on the competition circuit. How is this different?
7 years.
I
Fuck.
know. I remember.
Crazy.
What's different from this than anything else you've
why
done
is this
before? Any other
different than
tournaments?
Naga or
I mean,
Worlds?
I'm going with the highest level girls there are in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, there's the 16 like elite jiu-jitsu athletes or women athletes out there. So that's number one. Number two, it's a division that you can possibly win money, win a belt. It's the most professional division there is out there right now, especially for women. Maybe I would say for men too. There's a couple, but it's really the most professional jiu-jitsu competition there is.
Yeah.
So, it's a professional tournament, and I'm training like a professional. I am training like this is my job. I had to cut out a lot of jobs. I had to fix my schedule around and, cut out a lot of paychecks. I had to make some sacrifices so that I could train as much as I could. I'm still working. And
To make this your full-time job, basically.
Exactly. So, I mean...
And you're also crazy pants because what's happening the week after
Yeah,
EBI?
so I'm getting ready for EBI, and literally the Sunday after is my wedding, August 6th. So it's literally like I have two split personalities. I'm not joking.
Lila Jiu-Jitsu, Lila Bride.
Yeah, it's really intense.
Yeah.
It gets hard. It's a hard thing it's a really interesting thing to juggle. Surprisingly, it's like I'm so overwhelmed that I'm just like, fuck it.
You're just on autopilot
I'm
for
on
everything.
autopilot. Like, I'm just like, whatever. Like, it is what it is,
Yeah.
But it's
How big is
overwhelming.
your wedding?
About 200 people.
That's not bad.
That's a big.
that's
That's
a
a
good
big
number.
wedding.
Pretty big. We were trying to make it less, but we know too many goddamn people.
Sorry.
We'll leave.
But yeah, so it's been insane because it's like It's literally been an emotional roller coaster more than physical. Obviously, the physical is all EBI and getting ready for that, and I'm training like a monster, and I'm sore, and my body feels like hell every morning I wake up. But when I'm doing jiu-jitsu,
God, I miss that feeling.
Yeah, I feel like power. But
We'll check in with you in a second.
and then just like mental, it's just mental draining. Just
Does
like
it help that your fiance is a black belt and that like he gets what's going on?
Yeah, 100%.
That's true.
I mean, he's 100% supportive of, helping me get ready for EBI, and obviously he wants me to, we want to win. And
I have a question about that.
20 grand
you're about to ask the same question that I'm going to ask.
20 grand would just be like,
Kind of helpful to a newlyweds?
yeah.
So, Capella, your fiance, also one of your coaches, is the commentator for EBI.
Yeah.
So how does that work out the day of EBI when he's going to want to coach you, but he also has a job too? He's not going to commentate.
I think he probably won't commentate.
I wouldn't be able to.
I don't think he even did for the one for EBI, for EBI 5.
Oh, really?
No. For your match?
I think I'm
trying to remember.
No, I don't even think he commentated. I don't even think he did that day.
Just because of your match?
Yeah.
Oh, look, wow.
It's too much.
That's a good man that you're about to marry.
I did know he went and sat in the. I remember. I know specifically he didn't do your match because
he didn't coach me,
and he went and sat in the back. Like we had to go find him because he was like, I can't be too close. It was too much for him.
Yeah.
Like he had to go sit in the back.
And that was just for one match. So I mean, it makes sense then that he's going to do it for the whole thing. But I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he's just going to like be, coach / fiance / whatever
supporter
he needs to be,
/ Yeah.
Well, because it's so
intense. This one's really intense. I mean, it's like a division. Yeah. It's $20,000 on the line. I mean, that's no joke. Like, fuck.
You would do it for that wedding a week later? Yeah. All of a sudden, everything's just gonna gonna blow up.
It would be the best wedding present ever,
for sure.
But it's I don't like to. I mean, yeah, $20,000. That would be amazing. Love it? But who wouldn't love that?
Of course.
But to me, it's like not even. It's not even about the money. Like, if I just could win the whole thing.
No, totally. Have that belt around you. Totally. That right there.
That would just be like the best thing. That would just be the best feeling. Probably one of the best feelings. Not the best.
Aside from the getting married the next weekend.
One of the best feelings. It's like
split personality.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
true.
Two best
for jiu-jitsu, Lila, it'll be the best thing ever.
I don't know if I asked you this last time. Hold on. Chiquitas. There's a squirrel.
Dogs.
What was the point that you fell in love with jiu-jitsu? Do you remember? I don't know how to answer this for you. It's a genuine question.
Yeah, no, I get it. What was the point that I fell in love with it?
Mm-hmm.
You need to stop it over there. I was talking to the dog, guys.
I'm trying to think. It's like, did I fall in love with Eric first, or did I fall in love with jiu-jitsu?
That's a good question.
I think that when I started doing privates, I slowly started to fall in love with it, and I think that when I started competing, like my first win, I think that's when I fell in love with it. I mean, that feeling of winning and like just knowing that all that hard work and all that training and all that learning and
having something to show for it.
It's such a good feeling. Like winning is literally the best feeling ever.
So on a super small scale compared to what you're talking about, because you're talking about EBI, but if you guys listen to the podcast on a regular basis, which most of you do, I promised everybody at the beginning of the year that I was going to compete 3 times. And I did once so far. But yeah, I didn't know. So I did the EBI qualifiers, and Catherine Shen won the whole thing. She's amazing. She's going to compete with you at EBI. It's going to be amazing. She's fantastic. She's a phenom.
Yeah.
Donna also did an amazing job.
Yes.
She made it to the semifinals, and she made us all very proud.
Yes. Aw, thank you.
Did
that was such an intense
job.
match. It was insane.
That's what I was going to say. Like
the gym was
that one
going insane.
You and Nora, I thought the roof was going to blow off the place. Eddie asked me at one point during the intermission before the finals, he's like, what's the best match so far? I'm like, dude, did you hear everybody during Donna and Nora? It was insanity.
So I didn't know.
I don't know if it's because... sorry.
No.
I don't know if it's because you guys are both been doing 10th Planet for so long, and you guys are like old school, and it was just like such like technique. Or, I don't know. I think it was just like a combo of like just so much knowledge in one role, and also like you both are so old school, and like, you know, most of the other girls is like, I mean, they're newbies, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're phenoms, all of these girls, but all of them have only been training
Two or three years, maybe. Yeah.
It's like insane.
Yeah.
So I think that's what was so exciting, was to watch, like,
It was intense. I can't speak for what everybody's feeling. I mean, I knew, because I asked you to corner me, and like,
Yeah,
I
you
could
had
tell
like
your
8 people
face.
in your corner.
I did. Well, I had
I
about
had to
100.
turn, I literally had to turn around and tell somebody, I was like, yo, too many coaches. It was insane.
And it felt amazing just because of the love in the room.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how I was going to react walking, because it's been, the last time I competed was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and it was at Gracie Nationals. Nobody was watching. Nobody cared.
Was this the hangover one?
Oh, I don't even count that.
Okay.
I have competed hungover
Yeah,
since
no,
then, but like, I'm talking
Really?
about preparation. Every time I work a competition, people are like, "Oh, do you want to roll?" And I'm like,
Oh, you mean
yeah,
like
I'll roll it."
actually like you mean like a tournament where you actually prepared for it? You had
Correct.
time leading up to it. Got it. Okay.
And but I've never felt any pressure until this last weekend, and I felt an enormous amount of pressure not to win, but to make HQ proud, because I knew how many people were going to be watching, and because I've been there for so long, and I'm like the mama bear at the gym. And I told Becky afterwards, I was like, I just didn't want to come out and get choked unconscious and poop my pants on Facebook Live. Like, that was, I was like, what if I walk out there and forget how to do jujitsu? What if I walk out there and somebody chokes me out in like
And
10
then she just
seconds?
like pees her pants right there in the
like
middle of
all
the
of
mat.
it.
Oh my God, don't pee your pants. That would be really bad.
It was,
That's worse than getting choked out.
for sure, right? For sure.
I don't know, maybe fainting is the worst.
No, I think definitely doing some kind of bodily function
Yeah.
would be the worst.
Yeah.
But getting through the round and like
Sorry.
being proud of my performance
thing.
was the thing that, like, I was like, okay.
You were so
this is why
calm.
the sport.
You
Yeah,
were
you
were
were
super
super
calm,
calm.
but leading into it, because I remember at one point like you were sitting across from me, and I just looked at you, and like I didn't want to do like the "you got this, girl, go out and get them." I just smiled. I just
Yeah.
smiled at you, and you smiled back, and that was it. And it was like, I was like, okay, she's good, she's calm.
Yeah, you were super
like you were,
calm. It was great.
Yeah.
But it was
really great.
the whole point was competing was so much fun. Jiu-jitsu, so much fun. But competing, and it sucked to have to compete against my sister Nora. Like,
Yeah.
obviously I love her, and I'm so grateful that we were able to put on an amazing performance, and going up against 10th Planet women always sucks.
Yeah.
But it was the like applying all of this stuff that we've been doing, and I can't even imagine on the scale that you're doing it on, like what that feels like.
I don't know about competing. Made me fall in love with it. Winning.
Oh.
It's a very love, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. Competing for me is a very love-hate relationship.
That's fair.
You know, it's just like, I'm like, I half hate it and I half love it. I hate losing and I love winning. And
I don't know, you've taken such stride though. Like when you lose, you're like, you a lot of people are like, oh, there's my lesson. Like I see you take the lessons and very
because
practically
it sucks
apply it.
so
apply
much
it.
to lose. Like losing sucks so bad.
But maybe that's the benefit that you're that you're getting from it, is the
Of
fact
course,
that you know
is-
how to apply it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, it's learning, but like also just like,
A lot of
I
people
mean, I
don't.
go
They just
through-
take the loss. They get hurt by it, and they, you know,
Yeah,
they
for
start,
sure.
you know, kicking their feet and whammy. Like you actually take it and put it to use.
yeah, I actually, I go through roller coasters of like emotions of like, some days I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this?
Why
This
am I
is-
putting myself through all
like,
this
what
bullshit?
the fuck is this? Like, why am I doing this? This is crazy. Like, I could be comfortable. I mean, it's like I'm constantly
eating dessert.
yeah, I'm like constantly going out of my comfort zone, you know? I mean, that's what it is when you compete, is you're going out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks going out of your, like, nobody likes to go out of their comfort zone. It's for me, my opinion, it's the feeling after you go out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's a weird, I have a weird relationship with competing. It's like, it's like almost like I hate it, but I love it. It's very strange. Like, I love it when it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You love that you did it.
I love that
You
I
love
did it.
looking back at it and knowing that you did it.
Yeah, and that I did it. And, you know, maybe that's not the right way to do it. And maybe, you know, maybe this one will be different.
What is the right way? There's no
know.
right way.
I don't know if there's a right way or wrong
There's
way.
no
Do you
right
feel
ways.
that same way, Becky? Like, you competed a couple times last year. Your journey was different, though. So
Yeah.
what was your relationship with it?
With the competing in general?
Yeah.
Well, that was, I mean, I had the hurdle to get over with competing growing up. When I was competing in roller skating, towards the last couple of years, it got really competitive for me in my own head. It wasn't that it wasn't competitive with anyone else except my own head. And like that last year, it was a struggle for me to ever place, let alone win, get first place. Most of my journey in skating, I was always like 4th place, 5th place. Like,
Oh, it's got to be infuriating.
I'm telling you, it was the weirdest thing for me, because when I started, I was 6 years old when I started competing around 6 or 7. And I got really good really fast then. And so when I was 9, I competed in my first, like, so they had like two I don't know how to call it, like the first 2 years that you skate, there's the junior Olympic regionals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then after that, it's the regular regionals.
Sure.
And so I was just coming up on that 2-year mark. So my coach was like, why don't you compete? And you had to qualify for the junior Olympic one, which I did. And then I went and competed in that. And then the week after, a few days later, is the regular regional. So my coach was like, why don't you compete in that too? Or why don't you have her compete in that? Obviously, this is my mother he was talking to. And so she put me in the regular tournament. In the regular one, it was my first time skating at that level. And I end up coming out with 3rd place, and I make it to the national championships.
Yay.
Like, I'm 9 years old. I'm in the youngest division, but still, like, I went from just starting, and like now I'm competing at a national level at 9 years old. Competed
what
that
did
year.
that mean? Like girls from all over the country?
The whole country.
Okay.
And the way they do their nationals is what kind of throws me off a little bit with all the tournaments in jiu-jitsu. But you have to compete for your region, which for us here was California, Nevada, Arizona, and then the top 3 went to the national championship. So you had to place there in order to go to the other one.
Isn't that how most sport? Blah.
That's what I
most
thought. But jiu-jitsu doesn't seem to be that way. So it's a little confusing sometimes.
That's because there's no regulating body.
Yeah. So I got 3rd place there, made it to nationals. Ended up doing really shitty because nerves were always a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Competed against world's famous Tara Lipinski that year, though. She got 2nd place at nationals.
Ice skating?
No, this was roller skating.
Oh.
After that, she switched to ice skating, and then, like, I don't know, 7 years later or something, blew everyone out of the water when she was like, no, less than that. She was like 14 when she won.
She was a teenager when she
was like 14 or
took the
15, I
Olympics.
think.
I don't even know who that is.
She's an Olympic
skating.
gold medalist in figure skating.
I'm sure if I saw her face, I would know who
Yeah.
she is. I
Anyway.
love ice skating.
Yeah, so you should know. But you're a little young, too. So you were a baby when she was famous. Anyway, after that, it was basically like, I did this, and I didn't quite get up here. I just kind of did okay. And I'm telling you, from that point on until the fucking day that I quit, 4th place. Like, for the big things.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I get a medal. So that last year that I skated, suddenly, like, it was supposed to be my year or whatever. Like, I was the one expected to win, or whatever, just because I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, I was winning every tournament that year. 1st place, everything. I get to the one fucking one that matters in the end. The one that would take me to national, to the national level. And I didn't choke. I didn't choke at all that year. But the scoring fucked me. Like fucked me. I had they you know how you see, like, judges give people 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place, whatever. So there's 5 judges, and 3 of them gave me 3rd place, and a couple gave me whatever. One gave me 2nd, one gave me 4th or something. So looking at it, like, oh, she got 3rd place. Awesome, I'm going. Like, I was ready to skate out there and go get my medal when they called that third place person and they called some other girl's name.
Oh.
What a mind fuck that is.
Right? Aw.
Like, my skates, dress was on still. I was standing at the edge of the damn floor and I was ready to go out there. And they said some other girl's name. And I had a few coaches around me that were all like, eyes just fucking fell out of their head. Anyway, it turned out like the point system that gives, they also look at points and they judge you by artistic and technical. So which is like, how pretty you do your routine and how well you do the jumps and spins. And apparently that takes priority over the actual placement that each judge gave you. And the way it all broke down, she had like a couple more points than me.
Damn triple axel.
It wasn't even
I don't
that.
know
It
what
wasn't
that
even to that extent, but yeah.
I just know
but
that's
pretty much
something that people...
something in there. She got a couple more points.
How did that translate into you wanting to do jiu-jitsu tournaments?
So, well, how that translated with me not wanting to compete was more the thing. Like when I came into jiu-jitsu, I remember saying like, okay, this is for exercise. First and foremost, that's why I got into it, was I needed some outlet for exercise. And then the self-defense that comes, it's always good to know. That came along with it, and that was it. Competing was not, in my mind, the way I talked to everybody, I had no intention to compete.
A lot of people who start jiu-jitsu don't want to compete.
It didn't really occur to me, but there weren't the competitions the way that there are now.
So for me,
I went in it to compete.
Yeah, see, I didn't, for sure. But as soon as I went to that first tournament and saw all my teammates now competing, I felt it in me. I felt it in me, and it grew very slowly because I kept fighting it, because I kept shoving that feeling down, because I didn't want to. Well, with the nerves, my nerves were a huge thing for me when I was skating. I'd be like, before I'd be out there like this. Oh my God, I was horrible with that. That's why I did so kind of here and didn't do a little bit better.
Yeah.
And nerves are a bitch.
Yeah, that was just so when I got that feeling watching, going to jiu-jitsu matches, I thought that looks like so much fun. That looks like so much fun. I felt it in me.
Yeah.
But then that thought about the nerves and how I was feeling would come up, and I was like, no, bury that shit. And then I'd go to another tournament. I'm like, and then, a couple years later, when I came back to training, I was like, okay, toy around with this idea a little bit more. And it still took me a year after I came back, a little over a year, to finally be like, I think I'm going to try and compete at some point. I think I'm going to do it. Before I actually signed up with something.
And then you won. Yeah.
And then I won.
And you got your purple.
And then I realized that, like, it's so weird how, I don't know if it's an age thing or, or just the sport, my comfortability with the sport, maybe.
You weren't nervous at all?
Maybe being on the ground and not knowing that I wasn't going to be, like, jumping up in the air. And I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Knowing that you can't fall and stuff?
I got nervous for, like, a hot second the night before the first tournament. I remember telling someone, like, holy shit, the butterflies just kicked in.
Yeah.
But you and I drove down that morning, and
you were pretty chill.
I don't remember. Her and I were just chatting on the way down. And
well, speaking of nerves, so at the beginning of your combat sports career, because you've been an athlete forever, right? Soccer.
My whole life, yeah.
Can I tell everybody, I didn't know how young she is when we first met. Did I tell this on the last one?
Probably.
I think so. But it's so cute. You're so adorable. So I met Lila, and when we were doing kickboxing, and of course I'm like old. I'm like 28, 30 at this point.
No, you were like 24. Calm down.
I wasn't. I was like 27 or 28.
When we first met?
Yeah. And so Lila and I were partnered up, and she's the strongest kicks ever. And so she's like, it's because of all the soccer. And I was like, oh, where do you play? What college? And she's like, no, I'm in high school.
She loves that story.
I love that story. Anyway, we became best friends. But at the beginning of your combat sports career, you suffered really bad from nerves, right? Had a couple Muay Thai fights.
I won my first Muay Thai fight. Did great. Didn't really deal with any nerves. And then I just couldn't get through the nerves my like second and third one.
So how have you now? Because now you're like, yeah, let's do this shit.
I still get really nervous.
What? How were you not? If you weren't nervous,
I don't even know what I get nervous. I really, and the reason why I started. I mean, I don't know. Eric and I fight about this because he doesn't. he thinks this is not why I started jiu-jitsu, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm confused now about dates and when things happened. But I feel like the reason why I started competing in jiu-jitsu was to get... Oh, I know.
Oh.
Because
the light bulb just went on.
Yeah. Because I had my first Muay Thai fight and I did great. So I had fought Muay Thai before. Then I started jiu-jitsu because I think when I went to do my second Muay Thai fight, I fainted and then said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to stick to... I had started jiu-jitsu, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick to jiu-jitsu, take a break from Muay Thai. I'm going to compete in jiu-jitsu and get those nerves, you know, because it's not as intense doing jiu-jitsu. And I had tournaments where I was fine, and then I had tournaments where I was so fucking nervous. And the ones where I was fine, I, like, fucking smashed everybody. And it's really, like, crazy because it's like, okay, well, obviously if you're not nervous, you're going to do really good. So I'm just trying for this training, this camp, to just, like, focus on that confidence and being okay with competing and not being nervous. And because, I mean, like...
But what was the switch? Because there was a switch, and everybody around you could see it. Like, you went from, it might have been the one where your Muay Thai fight where your opponent didn't make weight or she got hurt or something like that.
That was like what, 2 years ago. Yeah.
So I took a break from Muay Thai completely for like a couple years and just did jiu-jitsu, competed in jiu-jitsu. I got my blue belt. Then I got my purple belt, and then I finally started up at Saxon's again. I started back into Muay Thai. I was ready to go because I wanted to do MMA. And finally, after a couple months of training at Saxon's, I was like, okay, I want to fight. So I started training. And then finally we had a fight lined up. Trained for 3 months straight. Got down to 115.
You were ripped.
Yeah, like, I walk around like 120. I was probably walking around like 129 when... like back
when
then.
you took on the fight.
When I took on the fight. I was like walking around like 128, 129. And so I got down to 115. The morning of weigh-ins, I wake up and I was training so hard. The morning of weigh-ins,
I remember that.
I got a call saying my opponent backed out. And I was just like, fuck this. I'm over it. I'm like, I know it's not the way to do it, but it fucked me. Like, I was so ready to go that I wasn't like, fuck this, I'll keep training for the next one. It was more like, fuck this, I really don't even want to do this right now.
But I think that's when you, whatever that was, that moment, I feel like that's when you stop being nervous about any of your competitions.
Maybe.
So whatever it was that made you stop caring, like, took that with you.
Yeah. This last competition, though, that I did at ADCC, I was so nervous. I was just like...
Well, because that was your first one at brown belt. I think that's what it was.
No, it wasn't. My first one at brown belt was Abu Dhabi.
Isn't that ADCC?
No, it was like the Abu Dhabi.
Oh, the
trials.
The one back in like February or something.
I just became a brown belt. I was already signed up as a purple belt.
Yeah.
To do it, and then I went up as a brown belt and I got like a bye to the finals. So I like the finals match. It was so random. Against Heather Rafferty.
Because I remember you said it was like on a big screen.
Yeah,
it was at the convention center, right?
Yeah,
that was like
screen.
in February.
Yeah.
And then ADCC was in
And I was actually
April.
not that nervous. But the minute I get on those fucking mats, it's like my body freezes.
Does it have to do with like the setting at all in that case? Like, because it was at the convention center, so it's like big and like there were seats and big screens everywhere and stuff.
I think Eddie, I think it's the feeling of gassing out. The fear of gassing out.
Really?
That's an interesting thing to be,
Yeah.
like, of all the things that you could be worried about.
That's what I'm worried about. I mean, like, because if you're scared of gassing out, then you won't attack because you're scared to do things, because you're scared you won't have energy to defend. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird and it's so annoying because when I train in class, it's like a beast, you know? I'm moving around, I'm attacking, I'm defending. I'm not afraid to go for it. But when you're in competition, you're afraid to go for it because you don't want to get tapped.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing is like you don't want to get tapped and you don't want to gas out from attacking.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I think the fear of gassing out is a big deal for me. And I think that I'm training for that. So I'm training super hard, getting my cardio together, doing my swim sprints, getting my confidence so high that I won't be scared of gassing out.
Do you feel like a professional athlete?
What do you mean?
Do you feel like do you because there's money on the line, so
Right.
technically you are a professional
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu competitor.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a professional athlete?
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is your job?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could have somebody just ask me like what would your dream life be?
Wait, hold on. Ask her the question.
Lila, what would your dream
There it is.
job be? Your dream life? Like, if you could do anything, money was not an object, what would you do?
I'd probably train professionally. Whether it'd be, I'd just be. That's all. I would do,
Train to
just-
like try and go out and compete and win tournaments?
Yeah. Maybe in MMA, right now my love is jiu-jitsu just because that's just where my path is right now, but just like I love training like a professional. I love to always be
To
in that
push
training
yourself.
mindset, like eating healthy. I like to eat bad, we all know. And I don't like to eat that bad, but I like to eat a lot.
See.
I like to be in that professional athleticism world, obviously right now it's jiu-jitsu, so if that was all I could do is just like train jiu-jitsu and compete in jiu-jitsu and get treated like get massages and chiropractor on a regular, really be a professional
To
athlete.
get like everything that comes with it, includes
yeah.
the recovery part and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. I'd
That
be down with
sounds
that.
like it doesn't suck.
that would be a
I'm
dream.
in. Sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would also mean I'd have somebody to fix my neck and
Yeah,
let
and,
me go
feed
back
me
to
and make my
train
food
now.
and stuff
For
like
sure. Speaking of necks, you want to give everybody an update? What's going on with you? How you doing?
My
How you
neck's still
feeling? What's
fucked up, you guys.
that. Really?
I don't know. This week it's gotten like kind of tight again.
Really?
Like just like a tightness, like kind of more my normal pains that I would have felt before, but I still have. So I tried going back it was probably about a week and a half ago, and I started getting like pains down my arm,
Shit.
and I had a therapist guy look at it last week over at Black House, and he did some stuff. I have no understanding of what this guy does, but it seems to do something because the pain was a lot less from what it was. But it's still there. It's still weak. It still gets really tired really quick. Like just, I do strength and conditioning, and yesterday he had me picking up 30-pound dumbbells, and I have to pick them up like both with this arm and pass it over. Like I can't pick up at that angle like that. The 30 pounds. This arm I can do
Wow.
it fine.
So when do you think you'll be back on the mats?
God, I was hoping last week I could start,
Did you
going.
start?
I went to the one. Were you there? No, you weren't there. I took one class, and
You couldn't do it.
it's not that I couldn't. I made it through. There were some live drills at the end that I may have. We did some EVI overtime, and I was like,
a little hard.
I'm gonna do one round of EVI overtime and see how it feels.
Bexington.
And by the time I was done, I was like, yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and take a break now. We're gonna be
So-
done it for the night. So.
Does anybody have any ideas of when you'll be able to train again?
Nobody really, I don't have the doctor person that.
MRI?
No.
Maybe you should get an MRI.
Okay. They're expensive.
I was going to say because they're free
Yeah.
for us in the United States. With
But
all
see,
of
if
our
we
awesome
lived in
healthcare.
this
You don't have health
fantasy
insurance?
world that you were
Yeah.
talking about, that would be available to me somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere I'd get that. So,
I know I need like 5 MRIs.
after you're done, after your
After
wedding,
I
you're
just
gonna
need
be like, here.
adjustments and
I'm
MRI
I have
me.
to get
MRI me.
nose surgery
Oh shit.
after my wedding.
You got punched too much?
I don't know. I heard
That would happen
or
over here.
something,
Is
but
that what's going on over here?
yeah. But my nose is basically broke.
That's fun.
Broken?
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe we should take that out.
Why?
I don't know.
In case somebody punches you?
Or like
So you're not
puts their forearm in my nose or something. Anyway, edit that out.
Okay. Hey, Lila, do you want to have kids?
Yes.
Oh.
Black belt first.
Black belt first.
Oh, I thought
Honestly-
she was gonna say I want to have black belt kids.
Well,
No.
she does want to have. That's actually my question. Since you and Eric both train, do you think that you're going to have your kids train?
Fuck yeah. Wrestling and gymnastics.
Wrestling
Dude,
and gymnastics? I like it.
Gymnastics, totally have them
Both
do
show.
gymnastics
Wrestling
from
and
a young age,
gymnastics
and then
first.
put them in jujitsu.
And then jujitsu and
Or have them be b-boys or something, because clearly the
Yeah,
people that we
that's
know
true,
that
too.
do that.
But that's like
that,
gymnastics.
So, yeah, it totally is. But, yeah, the people that
But
we
more
know
flexibility.
seem to...
Just gymnastics, they're so
No.
flexible.
B-boys with the crazy flexibility and the different...
Yeah, but gymnastics
Gymnastics,
have
same
crazy
thing.
flexibility.
More core strength.
And
No,
flexibility.
flexibility. For sure.
No, for sure, flexibility, yes. But
They're a
compared
little
to-
more fluid, less rigid.
Yes, B-boys are, I guess, are more fluid.
But that's why if they do gymnastics and wrestling, they'll be like both.
All right.
I don't know. We'll see.
combination.
Whatever they want to do. I mean, what if they're like Hayden and they want to read books and
Who?
my kids? Like, what if they just want to read books and
Oh, you
draw?
said hate it. I thought you said, what if they're like Hayden? I'm like, do we all know Hayden?
No, what if they hate it?
Oh, maybe they might. What if
I
you
mean,
get little
there's-
nerdy science kids?
That's okay.
And there's also the good point.
They have to play a sport.
We talked about it with...
My kids have to play a sport.
Well,
so
no, for sure.
they have to be active. There's no going around that. They can be nerdy. They don't want to do jujitsu.
But they're going to be nerdy athletes.
They're going to be nerdy athletes. Whatever sport they can choose.
Yeah, because we
Except for
talked
golf,
about it
except
with
for sport.
we talked about it with Damien and Maya. We talked about it with Rose, I think too, about their kids and not really being into it. Certain ones
really?
not being into it, and because
Can't force it. That's the whole thing. Is
there's also I think the mentality of like, as for a kid at least, that like this is mommy and daddy's work essentially, because you guys do teach it, and
that's
aside from training it, so. Oh, we're going to the gym because it's mommy and daddy's job. It's not necessarily a place for them to go have fun. It's a place, and they can have fun there, but
yeah.
in a kid's mind, it
It's
could.
mom and dad's work, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, kids training.
Yes, black belt first, then kids.
Do you have a number?
Like 8, probably.
Depends. I mean, no, it just depends how my life pans out. I mean, 2 for sure.
2 for sure.
2 for sure.
Where would you like to see the women's self-defense program go? Like, what would you like? Because I feel like in the last maybe 2 years, around the time that we started, maybe we started a trend, I don't know, that there's been so many programs that have popped up everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because women, I mean, the message can't spread enough. There's enough love. There's, whatever.
There's enough people in the world.
There's enough people in the world. People need to train 100%. But, specific to what we train, which is very much jujitsu for self-defense and very much 10th planet jujitsu for self-defense. Where would you personally like to see our program go, and how would you like to see it reach ladies? Like in this perfect world where you're a personal trainer all the time, and your 2 kids are in tow and they're doing jujitsu and
Everything's perfect.
Right. How would you like to see that program expand, especially in your part in it?
In 2 ways. I mean, I would like to see it grow just like to be called by big companies like, hey, like 10 Planet Women Self-Defense, they want to come teach you jiu-jitsu skills that are going to help you with self-defense. Specific jiu-jitsu skills from 10th Planet that is on the ground, off your back, stuff like that. And on a second note, and getting women to do that would be like their segue to join jiu-jitsu and be a part of 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu and become part of the 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu family and make the women of 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu grow.
It's
so
kind of
both of those
amazing.
2 ways. Those 2 ways, what would be the perfect world of being called up by big companies or like Oprah or like Obama, Michelle Obama being like, hey, Donna and Lila, like,
Oh, Michelle.
yeah, like we need you to come teach.
If you happen to be
Lady
listening to
O.
this,
Lady
if
O.
you
Michelle
happen
Obama,
to be listening to
Michelle
this,
Obama specifically,
they have a thing going.
Just
I help
move,
them,
right?
So
Just move, Michelle Obama. That's her thing. Just move.
I was like, where do they move?
No, just move. That's her like whole thing, like exercise and stuff.
for sure.
And she's all about women empowerment. Like, call us. We'll come teach these girls some jujitsu and healthy mental lifestyle and be better equipped with being in control of your mind and your body as a woman and
Yeah.
awareness of your space and people around you. And so that would be cool to be called up and by Michelle Obama to come teach like a 300 women seminar for
I like where you're going with this, Lila. I'm on board.
yeah.
I'm
also
into it.
women to join jiu-jitsu.
For sure.
Segue.
So,
10th Planet.
speaking of that, how cool is it how many women, I mean, the fact that we have a card on UFC Fight Pass that's all women, super high level, almost all of you guys are black belts and brown belts on this card.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing because 10 years ago, this would not have
never
been
have
possible.
happened. Yeah. You back?
Oh,
here.
Chiquita's back, everybody. She's
Welcome.
from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Please don't have your tail knock everything down. That'd be cool.
Hi, girlfriend.
What was your question?
Oh, it was more of a statement. Like,
Okay.
how cool is it that how
It's
many women have
amazing, and I
grown?
think that it's only going up from here, especially when you see all the teenage girls.
Yeah.
Like Grace Gundrum and Akira Bua and Cora Sek and that 16-year-old girl who just won the Abu Dhabi trials.
The
And
one
Oh,
from,
yeah.
where's she from? She's from
what's her
Europe,
name?
right?
Mackenzie? No, what's her name?
Oh, is she? I don't know. I don't know.
Kendra or something like that?
Asi.
Essie? Chiquita.
The little blonde girl, right?
Asi.
The short
Well,
blonde
she's
hair.
not little. She was pretty buff.
She's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a woman,
Yes,
but
I know.
she's
But she's a
16.
16-year-old. I know.
She's 16.
Yeah.
And the two girls who just did the EBI trial, 17 and 18, I mean, come on. It's only going up. It's like insane. I love it. And I think it's the best. I can't stress it enough that it is the best. It's one of the best sports for kids, but for little girls
Yeah.
specifically, because it's such good confidence, and it keeps them away from all that bullshit growing up as a teenage girl and like all those things that you have to like live
I don't think
by.
it's not going to keep it away.
No,
It's
but
still going to
it makes
happen,
them
but
not
I think
care
it
about it as much, you
mentally
know? And
stronger and
It makes
Oh,
you
yeah.
like not care about that shit that all the teenage girls care about, you know? And I think it's just you're rolling around with girls and guys. I mean, with boys and girls, it's like equal, and it's just it teaches you your ego. I mean, like at age 6, I mean, I was just watching like at 10 Planet Burbank, like, you know, she has the jiu-jitsu program. I was watching these little 6-year-olds like going at it and like
You're talking about that
tapping.
brother and sister?
Oh, they're
They're
amazing.
so amazing.
But it's just
The
like they
little
have to
cute-
learn how to
there's some
tap
cute
and
ones.
like be like, okay, you won, good job. You
it
know,
teaches them how
obvious-
to check their ego at a young age.
Yeah, and it's, to me,
And
it's
shake it off.
it's
when
amazing.
Something
Yeah.
goes wrong.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I've always been a strong believer in, and this kind of goes back to my skating and obviously my experience, but I feel like for me, like I loved skating when I was when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, or whatever. I loved it, and I didn't want to do anything to mess that up, like, and maybe this is just, you know, my mom's parenting and, you know, this, you know, the threats and whatever, but I didn't take them lightly. Like, if
Wait, your mom threatened you?
she's Cuban. Not threaten me like threaten me,
She's
but like
Cuban.
no,
That
she
was right.
would. No, what I meant is she's threatening.
No coffee for you if you don't skate?
She's threatening my skating. You can't skate if you do these things. If if you start doing drugs, if you start having sex and you get knocked up, you can't skate.
My mom's white. I never believed any of her threats because they were never credible. Sorry, Mommy, I love you.
I never was threatened. My parents
Well-
did not use threats.
But that was the threat was losing something that I loved.
Right.
Yeah.
I had this thing that I loved that I wanted to do, and I would do it 5-6 days a week growing up, and I loved it, even though it frustrated me.
Yeah.
But
So then,
so I didn't want to do. So I stayed away from the troublemaking stuff.
For sure.
I've always felt like the reason I stayed away from like any sorts of trouble. I was never a troublemaker by any means growing up. Was because I had this sport that I loved. That
I was the witness.
if I fucked up, I would lose.
Right.
And so, and again, I don't know that that's going to work with. Obviously, it's not going to work with every kid. Not everybody's different. But I'd like to think that if a child falls in love with a sport, I don't care what sport it is. It doesn't even have to be martial arts. Sorry, but
it's just something
for
to love.
this
Something
child
and
to
care
love.
about. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ideally, I think martial arts and jiu-jitsu specifically brings a lot of things to the table
like
for
it checks your
a
ego,
child.
like you
Yeah,
said.
there's
But any
so many
sport,
things.
I mean, most sports do, but
But my thought is, well, the ones that give participation trophies don't. They can fuck off. But
it's different with team sports.
But
because
finding
it's a
something
team.
you love.
But
Yeah.
something individual it's different. Although, you know, I mean,
yeah, but team sports, I mean, the first
there's
place
a lot
team
of
can get
wrestlers with
can get
fucking
trophies
chips on
or
their
whatever.
shoulders, though.
Wrestlers?
Yeah.
Why?
That's interesting.
What do you mean?
I don't know. There's a lot of wrestlers with chips on their shoulders. There's just a lot of fucking. There's like
my
the
God.
50% of
You
like.
guys hear that?
No.
It's my inbox filling up with wrestlers yelling at me for what you just said.
Sorry,
It's all the
bros.
comments coming through.
Okay, first of all, here's one statement. Akira Bua is going to wrestling camp for the summer. She's doing like a wrestling
She's
camp
going to come
in
back and
Chico.
destroy us all.
Girls can only do 5 days. Guys can do 10.
What?
Wait, what?
Little
What does
girls
that mean?
are only allowed to do 5 days. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wait, what?
Wait, so the
Seriously?
rules of this
So-
The
specific
rules
camp,
is girls girls can only sign up for 5 days and the boys stay for 10.
Because
Even if they're the same age and whatever.
Yep. Isn't that disgusting?
I have a conversation to have with a couple wrestlers for this shit.
Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah.
I, being
horrible.
the
She told
person
me,
that
I
I
was like-
am, would like to hear more why this is
When
first
I heard that, I was
before
like,
I go off
why
on
are
it.
you going to this fucking camp? Like,
Well, I'm one of her coaches, so I'm gonna call and ask somebody.
yeah,
I think
that's
you should.
fucked up.
Definitely a lot of questions need to be asked.
Obviously, there's like I said, there's like the 50% wrestlers that are so, like Rob Rodriguez and
George
and what's his name?
Luis.
Luis.
And
what's his name? The one that's fighting in Bellator.
Aaron,
so sweet and like super
I love
humble.
all of our wrestlers.
I know, but then there's the other half of the wrestlers that are fucking.
Don't say any names, please.
I don't know any.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh, this is just generalizing.
I'm just
She's
generalizing.
stereotyping.
Stereotyping.
I was gonna be like, beep her out. Beep her out if she says a name.
Be proud.
Beep her out.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying there are though. I mean, but it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. There are. I mean, it's the same thing in any sport. I
Yeah.
mean, gymnastics.
There's always going to be
dancing,
bad
there's
seats
always
in every
the
or bad sportsmanship or
in
whatever.
every sport. I
That's
mean,
that's not just
I have a
wrestling,
question
though.
for you since you've competed so much.
Yeah.
Can you tell competitors who mostly compete IBJJF? Do they compete differently? I know the inbox. I can hear it. I know.
I don't know if I can tell, but like, I don't know. I don't know if I can tell.
mean-
It's more like statistics. Like, I mean,
I would think that there would be more, some
It's a lot of winning by
less
points. So
holding
like,
down. Yeah, I feel like you might be more.
you don't see as many
That's
submissions.
my point. They're very point driven and based because that's what they train for.
Yeah, you
so
don't
I'm just
see-
curious
yeah.
when you're
You
competing
don't see as
against
many
them.
submissions, except for Mackenzie Dern. She won a lot of her matches by submission.
Would you like to compete against her?
Yeah. Sure. I love her though.
It'd be
Very
hard.
hard.
That would
Who's
be
your
like
favorite fighter?
Fighter?
Yeah,
Like MMA
grappler
fighter?
or
Grappler?
both. Who's your favorite grappler? Who's your favorite fighter?
Female or male?
Give it to me. All of it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Frankie Edgar is my favorite MMA fighter. Fucking love Frankie
He's a
Edgar.
wrestler.
He's a humble wrestler and a nice wrestler. Female, I love Joanna.
Jędrzejczyk.
I don't know her.
Jędrzejczyk?
I can't
Very
say her
good.
last name.
Jędrzejczyk.
It was taking me years.
Johanna
You'll get there.
Jędrzejczyk.
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 I love her.
Can't say her name. She loves you.
She's an amazing fighter.
No, she.
Yeah.
Who else?
How about grappler? Grappler specific.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mackenzie Dern. I don't know. I think I just love her because she's so, like, I follow her on Instagram. And
just the all around
she's so
girl.
real, though, but she's so real. Like, it's like her whole life is jujitsu, but she's, like, also a normal woman.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But aren't most of us?
Aren't we all? Aren't we all somewhat?
No, I know. We are, but there are a
just have
lot
our
of the
freak
girls.
jujitsu
But I
side?
meant she's on the top.
Yeah.
Like, she's at the highest level. And, like, some of the girls who are at the highest level, they're not really, they, like, are not normal. Like, they're like, phenoms. Like, they're, you know what I mean?
I was like, what?
I mean, she's, like, a phenom, but, like, she's also super, and it's weird to explain. Like, she's also super real. Like, she's, like, super smiley and you know, likes
You
to
could,
be,
you
But I
relate to
think
her
that's-
personality.
I relate to her personality. Like,
Yeah.
she's, like
But you probably would with some of the other ones if they were on social media more, maybe. Or if they
I
were.
follow some of
I
them on
bet a
social
lot
media,
of them
and a lot
also
of them
are
just,
very. Maybe she's like you in that, and I don't know her.
She
I'm
likes
guessing.
to dance. Like, she like goes to dance classes
Yeah.
and like
I didn't know you were such a girly
So
girl.
this is what I'm
I
saying.
am
think
such a
that
girly girl. That's the
she-
whole
she-
thing.
she
I'm a
kind of
girly
is.
girl, and I'm not. It's weird.
And a tomboy all
But
mixed
that's
together.
I'm hearing that's why you relate to her, and I feel like maybe just kind of knowing you how you filter things, you're seeing that a lot of the other women are like presenting an athlete,
Yeah.
and it seems
is
like
cool.
she's not. She's
Yeah.
presenting
her real
her
self.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that could just be a part of her presentation
Yeah.
that maybe the other ladies aren't into.
Yeah.
That-
I like her, and I mean, I've never met her, but I like what she posts, and
Yeah.
and she always, I don't know, she just always has, she's not a mean mugger like when she competes, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
which is fine. Everybody has their own style. Like a lot of girls who compete, they have to like Ronda Rousey. She has to fucking hate you, before she fights you.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Dern is kind of just. I feel
she's
like
whatever.
She's like me.
I'm gonna go out and fight.
Yeah, like it's like, and that's how I feel. Like I don't do this because I'm angry. I do it because I love the skill, and you just go out there and showcase what you got, and yeah, you have to be a savage, but you're not.
All right, so we're gonna see you coming out next month with smiles on your face, and you're just be like, "I'm out here."
Well, look I do the video with my EBI.
Have you seen the video when they show her walking out? She's like all like dancing and
I'm like
wiggling.
smiling.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe I
smiles.
should. Maybe I need to be aggressive, but
No.
I mean, I am aggressive when I'm there, but it's just like
you be aggressive in the match. Yeah.
You be you.
Have
Yeah.
fun though. The rest of it.
The rest of us, like, trust me, I'll be
We'll all have the nerves for you.
yeah.
Don't worry.
I'll be stone faced enough for you.
Okay, fine. You take my nerves, and I'll
We'll take
just
those
have
happily.
fun.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And I'll just go have fun.
That's the plan. Good idea.
Are you going on a honeymoon?
We're going like on a mini one. Our wedding is Sunday, and then we'll be leaving Wednesday for like 4 days.
Okay, can we get girly for a second?
I don't know where we're going. It's a surprise.
You don't? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is
Probably.
it tropical?
I mean, it's drivable, so I have
Okay.
no idea. It's not Thailand because we were
Clearly
talking,
not drivable.
No, because he was like, okay, I booked our honeymoon. I was like, really already? He was like, yeah, don't get too excited. It's not Thailand, because I really wanted to go to Thailand. But we also decided, like, we both really want to go to Thailand, and we want to go we want to go to Spain. We want to go to a lot of places, but like we also wanted to kind of just like take a honeymoon where we do nothing for 4 days.
Not go on a traincation for your honeymoon.
Exactly. Well, but even if we went to Spain, we'd want to like go around, and when you go places, like sometimes vacations are exhausting because you want to like when you went to Europe, you want to see everything. So
yeah,
we
you guys were
got
jumping
home
around
and we
like
were,
crazy people.
So tired. So we were like, let's just go on a real honeymoon, like where we literally sit and do nothing on a beach
somewhere, just
but
drinking.
Same thing. Like we're like, let's go to Hawaii, but it's like no. If we go to Hawaii, we're gonna want to go do all these island things, and like if we go to Thailand and we sit on a beach, we're gonna want to do all these island things. So it's not gonna be like relaxing. We would literally just want to go.
You're going to Santa Barbara. I don't know. I'm just saying. It sounds
or
like you're
San
going to Santa
Diego
Barbara.
or somewhere in Mexico
like
nearby.
maybe Santa Cruz or
Palm Springs, maybe.
Maybe
That's
Palm
not a
Springs or.
Eric,
Okay, so we're gonna get girly
a
for a
beach at
second.
least. Come on, beach.
No, it's a beach.
Okay,
for
we're
sure.
gonna get girly for a second. Some of the best wedding advice I got is
none.
Huh?
I said I've got none.
Okay.
You go.
Well, I got married once, so I got some.
All right, go.
Hold his hand through the whole reception, because if you guys lose each other,
It's done. It's over.
you know what I mean. And then take a moment, and I remember taking a moment. Somebody was like, take a moment to really just appreciate, because it's gonna be a
the
whirlwind.
moment. Yeah,
And I remember,
it's like competing.
I remember
Be in the moment.
We went up on, he was going to take my garter off, and I threw the bouquet. That's the moment that I looked out at everybody, and I was just like, all these people are here because they love us. And it was like this cool moment.
Okay, why don't you be in charge of making me have that moment?
Okay. and
I will
also,
forget. And do the same for EBI too.
Okay. Yeah,
Hello?
I got you on EBI. I'm
In the
gonna, I'm the Lila Wrangler. That's always my job. And this is not advice, but just kind of anticipation. The love bubble that you're in from your wedding day lasts like a week, and you love everybody because you're in love. Like you have all this love being like.
But what was it
at you.
before?
You'll have to experience it. But what I'm saying,
No, I'm saying like before the wedding.
oh, it's chaos.
Okay.
It's chaos
'Cause that's how
up
it
until
feels.
up until you're walking down the aisle. Like even people were walking in late to our wedding. I had a cocktail party wedding, and my dad and I were like coming in the back, and it was Alan and Nicole.
missed it.
It was you. Oh,
No,
you!
we
I didn't yell.
missed
I
it.
was like, "Get inside! We're walking in!" Like even the moment before we walked in, I was like, "Get inside!"
Eric and I missed it.
and then
horrible.
And then me and my dad walked in, and I didn't do the wedding song. I walked into Madonna. It was so much fun. But this is what I'm saying is like, do you guys know what the Care Bear stare is? Do you remember the Care Bear cartoons? The Care
Yeah.
Bears, and then they have the rainbows coming out
It
of
was
their
like
belly.
on the Disney Channel or on
No,
some
it's
channel
like-
that I didn't have.
No, it was like on regular TV. The
Yeah,
point
I don't
is,
know.
so the Care Bears, when they're sending out love to the world because they're like trying to heal whatever the issue is, they send out rainbow love from their bellies, and it's called the Care Bear stare, and that's how they send love. And your whole wedding is like everybody in the room just like beaming this love at you, and you will carry that with you for like a week. Like seriously, it's the best feeling. I'm just telling you that because I'm excited for you.
I gotta win EBI first.
zero fucks about the wedding right
She's
now.
like, talk to me on Monday after my
the
wedding.
day
Literally
after
the
EBI,
day after.
we'll talk about that.
Well, that's
talk
when
about all
we're doing
this.
our bachelorette that day, so you have to take
The
work off.
day after EBI.
Monday.
Thanks for that.
What
Well,
about-
I'm pretty sure I'm already off. but-
In.
Spa,
In.
and then salsa dancing at night.
Oh, okay. Time to prepare.
Yay.
I went salsa dancing this weekend.
Yeah, I want to go.
You're-
I
you're-
want to go to like Cuba, but
And your
there's
future
no-
your
so you
future
gotta have-
husband is already upset that he didn't know in advance, even though I've told him about the Puerto Rican festival before.
When
He's
is
like,
it?
let me know next time.
It was
Wait,
last
when
week.
was the Puerto Rican festival?
Last Sunday. I saw him on the way out
I
of
cannot believe you didn't tell us though.
I've
can't believe
talked
he doesn't-
I've talked to him about it
That's
many
crazy.
times before.
Anyways, I really want.
I just didn't remind him, hey, Eric,
should've.
this is coming up. Apparently next year I have to do that with
Yes,
him.
you do.
Because I walked out the door of the gym after the qualifier, and like Long Beach people are standing there, and then a Puerto Rican standing there. I'm like, I'm on the way to your hood to hang out with
your
your
people.
people. Your hood, your people. And that
And he
was,
was pissed that you
he's like, oh, what? And then he left me when he saw the video of like, because it's so many people. When he saw the video of like the giant stage and like all the people, he was like, "You
That
need to
looks
let
like
me
it
know
was a lot
next
of fun.
time."
Yeah. Was there good food?
Yeah. Caribbean food all
Anyway.
over the place.
Yeah.
And beer, lots of beer.
But yeah, salsa dancing after.
All right.
Okay,
Done.
I'm in. I
I
like
want to
it.
do like dirty dancing Havana Nights, salsa dancing.
Dirty Dancing Havana Night.
All
You
right.
know that movie Dirty Dancing in Havana Nights?
Never
What is
saw
it? A Monday night? Oh, we can't. Okay. There's a little bar down the street from here that's like kind of hidden thing.
Floridita.
No, actually, but that place could be. I don't know.
Floridita
It's
is
not
Monday
very.
nights.
Is it Monday nights?
But it's very like, I feel like it's a little bit whitewashed.
It's like it's also not as cute. There's a place on Santa
Such
Monica
good food, though.
and Santa Monica and something I can't remember, but it's a Cuban themed cocktail bar.
Oh, fun.
And they have like live salsa bands, and that would be an awesome place. Except I think Mondays and Tuesdays, or Sundays and Mondays, or something, they're closed.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
But yeah,
Back in my
anyway.
party days, I used to go out 7 nights a week.
You are fucking kidding me.
7 nights a week.
Dude, I was out every single night.
There was no
not-
age in my life that I could have handled that.
Every
Yeah,
night.
no way. I did it for a year.
If I had jujitsu back then, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I didn't.
I didn't have
partying.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, I did go through a point where I would go to this bar where I basically had like a family with. It was like a family like of friends, and you'd go and it would literally be like this, and we'd just be hanging out
Yeah.
at the bar, talking, having a beer. It wasn't like going out partying, getting crazy though.
Sorry, I was in the club.
That
scene.
I just
don't know.
can't. I just can't imagine. Like I can't think of a point in my life.
I
That,
was 21. I could not do that now. To be clear.
well, no.
I can barely
yeah.
do one night out.
I mean, I don't even. Well, I didn't drink when I was 21 either, so there's that.
All right.
I
Well, I
didn't
drank
start-
enough for both of us, so it's okay.
You made up for when I wasn't drinking. I was 26 when I started drinking.
Okay, so we're gonna start wrapping things up because I
Okay.
know you've had a very long day of
Driving
training
around.
plus wedding
stuff,
preparation.
literally.
Is there anything that you want to say to everybody who's followed your career and is going to be cheering for you? We're gonna be giving the Care Bear stare up onto the stage.
Yeah, all the love's gonna start the week.
I mean,
before.
I just want to say thanks to everybody who supports me on this journey and you know, who have my back and who are training with me and, you know, building up my confidence with me and all the sponsors who believe in me.
Who are your sponsors?
NutriShop, Monterey Park, Komenu Apparel, Hypnotic, Datsusara, technically not a sponsor, but Mat Therapy. And
we try our best to do whatever we can.
exactly.
Yeah.
And more like family.
Even if it means
Mat
Care Bear
Therapy
stare love.
and Mat Therapy and 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu and Chain Fitness, Taylor Ramsdale. More like family and helping me out, getting ready for the fight. And, you know, just thanks everybody for all the support and come watch it. And watch it on UFC Fight Pass. If you can't come to the Orpheum downtown LA, July 30th. Tickets on Ticketmaster.
Yep.
I don't know how much they are.
Is there a code for your name if people want to buy them?
I have
Like-
no idea.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I was not
I
given.
don't know that Ticketmaster does Ticketmaster do that?
No, I can't remember if EBI does that.
I don't
But I
think
know a
so.
lot of fight promotions.
Yeah,
You have to give the fighter's name.
because they can sell. They sell them on their own website.
Yeah.
Like if
That'd be
EBI was selling them
I
themselves,
see.
but through Ticketmaster, I don't think you can do that.
What's all
Anyways.
your social media?
Yes. So if you want to follow my next couple months of journey, swim sprints, wedding planning, Just kidding. Mostly just jiu-jitsu planning. Lila Smadja on Instagram, and also 10pwsd to follow the ladies and motivational videos and pictures and quotes.
And stuff that you're doing.
And stuff that we're doing, and, the next seminars. Facebook, Lila Smadja.
Awesome sauce. Are you going to be Smadja after you get married?
Oh.
I don't know yet. Smadja Cruz, maybe.
Smadja Cruz. Little Jurican babies.
Juricans.
Yay! We love you.
Porta juice.
Yeah, so.
Porta juice? No?
Puerto Ricans, Juricans is cuter.
Juricans. Okay, so
We didn't talk about Wonder Woman.
Oh, let's talk about it. I want to talk about Wonder Woman. Becky,
Yeah.
have you seen Wonder Woman?
I'm
To
working.
all the women out there,
I'm working on it.
let's see if there's a Showtime tonight.
I'm working
How
on
did you
it.
feel when you saw it, Lila? Because I'll tell
So
everybody how
powerful.
I saw it.
It was like amazing. I was like, could watch it over and over and over again. Besides the fact that she's so hot.
She's all right.
What?
I'm agreeing. Jeez. She's
Holy
gorgeous.
She's
shit.
being
Calm down.
sarcastic.
She's so
by-
fucking hot. Oh my god.
There's
I was
two
like
giant,
dying. And he's so hot, Chris Pines.
He's okay.
Oh my god, together
down.
it was just like a screen of gorgeous.
Gorgy. It's a gorgeous orgy. That's basically what she was trying to say there.
But it's just like the whole thing was hot. Like she was just such a badass and like
So
didn't give a fuck about anything about what people thought, which was amazing.
Yeah. I like that about her. I personally, I know I've said it, I'm going to talk about it all the time, so get over it. I've been waiting for that movie since I was a little girl. I've been waiting for a movie telling little girls that, yes, you can be a superhero, and you can be really smart.
And you can be really pretty.
And you can be really pretty, and you can also be the president. It's like, I was having this conversation with one of our friends, and he was saying how his sister was like, oh, there's so many real women that you can look up to. Why would you care about a character?
Yeah.
And my answer to that is, I'm 40 years old, and I remember back then when I was a little girl and I used to love Wonder Woman, and I watched the TV show in the 80s, and even back then it was like, oh, you can be a doctor too, because women are just as smart as men.
Right.
It was it was like, you can do it because, like, there was also the qualifying thing, and this is the first time that I can remember that there's no qualifications. It's, yes, you're a badass. Yes, this is an island of these badass women who
Oh my God, that
train
island. I wanna
and that
live-
are amazing and that are geniuses.
I could just live on that island.
For sure.
Eric's
And-
like, really? You just live on that island?
But like, how many
yeah.
little boys grew up with superheroes to look up to?
Yeah,
So you have to
exactly.
like consider that. There's plenty of
The
people.
Amazons.
There's plenty of men for guys
Yeah.
to look up, for kids, boys to look up to as
Yeah.
men and as people to inspire them. But they were all fucking looking at superheroes.
For
They all
sure.
wanted to be Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and all those things.
And
so
even Chris Pine's character was still a really strong, badass man who
Respected
also
her.
had this, respect and respect for how powerful she was, and wasn't threatened by it, and was okay with loving her. Like, to me, like, all of it
Yeah.
was
and that's a big one
amazing.
too, because
Yeah.
He loved her.
This
And it was
is
really funny, too. There's
Okay.
a lot of funny parts.
This
You're
is-
getting antsy, so we're going to go ahead, finish your thought.
I was just gonna
Sorry.
say with that character, the way you were speaking about him actually is a big thing for guys to
sure.
to be able to see that you could be with someone like that. Because like, I'm the single one of the bunch, so I get to deal with I'm gonna hear about this because there's gonna be a lot of guys that are gonna say that's not me, that's not me.
Well, everybody on YouTube loves you. You have like 5 boyfriends on YouTube.
Every guy,
They all hate me, but they love you.
I've talked to, or a couple guys that I've dated that they love the idea of this girl that also trains, and like, oh, I love that I could like talk to you about this stuff, but they don't want to. In the end, like they don't want to do like. And I've heard this from a lot of girls. It's not just from a lot of other ladies that train. It's not just me. It's not
hard.
like.
It's
But like
hard.
then they end up in these same guys have all ended up in relationships with girls that don't train and don't like have nothing to do with any of this.
'Cause
And
it's
I'm
easier.
like, what the fuck?
Because it's easier for them.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
Yeah, it's,
It's hard.
We're
It's
more
hard.
complicated.
It's hard to be, I think that, Eric and I make it work, but it's easy, but it's not the easiest. I mean, we get it and we both respect it,
I think there's also something to say of you started the sport with him basically. Like the jiu-jitsu part, right?
No, but I mean, Jonathan, I got him into jiu-jitsu. I was doing it before we met. So
that's why it's hard for me to talk about this, because I have you here next to me where Jonathan is not he's not this person, these guys that I'm talking about. I'm not generalizing. This isn't every single guy. I know that there's plenty out there that don't. It just, but there is a, I do feel like there's like a majority aspect of it. Like they also want this to be like their thing, and like they don't want.
Well, yeah, that's what guys are already training, and
guys who don't train, and if a girl gets better than them, they won't understand. You know, they have egos.
Oh, for sure.
Guys who don't train have more egos.
For sure. That's because when you train, you learn to check your ego. Yeah. All of that. So what I was going to say about this is, and look, every relationship comes with its own set of obstacles.
Yeah.
But like almost anything else, in my personal humble opinion, like all of us have what we thought would have been deal breakers for the person who wasn't the right thing, the right person. And then when you meet the right person, like all your deal breakers go out the door.
You're like, I could do without
same
that.
thing. Like, yeah, maybe you haven't met that guy yet, but whoever he may be, whether he's a white belt or a brown belt or a purple belt or whatever,
it doesn't train at all.
It won't matter, because like you guys will figure it out within the nucleus of your relationship, and you'll have to navigate that yourself. And he's going to be okay with you being a super strong woman. He's going to be okay with you, putting makeup on before you go to the gym, whoever you are. And that, no, I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying if you were that person, he's going to be okay with that, because those things are so minor when a relationship is right.
No, for
you know
sure.
what I mean?
And I totally understand that. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just basing it on my own experiences, and what I've gone through is they say this, but they end up with that. Yep. And so you're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, none of them are right, so fuck all of them in that respect. Okay.
with all due respect, fuck them all.
With all due respect, fuck you all. We love you. We can't wait to see you beast out on the stage.
Yes.
And
thank
you so much for taking
screaming our little heads
the time out of your busy,
she might be a little more quiet.
I think I've
the time
evolved in my coaching a little bit. I used to scream a lot. I don't scream as much anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be screaming my head off. And I said, I'm thinking more you're going to be too nervous, and you're just going to be like...
No, because my whole focus that day will be her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you'll be nervous.
Yeah.
And quiet and not screaming.
Yes. On that note, we love you guys. We'll see you later. And follow Lila. Support her. Follow all the women. Go find all of them. We're going to get
all
as many...
of them.
Well, we're going to get as many of them as we can on on Mat Therapy before EBI. And support women's BJJ. Support empowering women. Go watch Wonder Woman. Buy a Mat Therapy rash guard and a t-shirt.
A Wonder Woman rash guard.
And all the other good stuff. Peace out, bitches. We love you.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. If you like what you're hearing from us, we'd love it if you went to iTunes and gave us a rating and a review. And don't forget, you can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/MatTherapyLife.